Hello everyone, welcome to the first of many tutorials. In this tutorial I'm going to be going over the animator, not the animations and how you make them, but the animator itself. So if you have your animations prepared, this is the perfect video for you if you're just trying to understand how the animator works. So what we're going to do is we are going to head over to the animator window. We'll make sure that we've got same controller as the player animator. And you'll see here I have three animations set up. I have the idle, the run and the jump animation, and what we want to do is essentially make these actually work together. The character doesn't really move, it just sort of looks a bit boring and dull. So what we're going to do is we are going to make a transition from the idle state and go to the run state, and basically what this does is it's basically saying, move to the run state. But right now what will happen is if we play, it will just go straight to the run state, which is not what we want. So to make sure that we have control over when these sorts of things happen, we can go up here to the parameters, and what we want to do is we want to add a new boolean, and we're going to call it is moving. And here we're going to say if is moving is true. This is basically like saying it's like a giant if statement, because you can have multiple sort of things. But it's just like a giant if statement, and all of the conditions have to be true. And we don't really want an exit time, so the exit time, I'll show you here. So if we put 0.5, it's basically the start when the transition starts. And what we really don't want to do is just sort of make it so press the button and then it waits half a second before anything happens. We don't want to have any exit time, so then when we press it, it will just start the transition straight away. And then we want to make a transition back and go to the idle state, no exit time again, and we want to go here, and is moving is false. So if we're not moving anymore, then it's going to go back to the idle state. Finally, we want to make a transition from any state, which means that it can happen basically from anywhere. So it's just another way of just saying, these two are also connected. Instead it's just through one state, one like block, I suppose. And we're going to make another boolean called is jumping. Okay, and here we're going to make the is jumping is true. So if we're jumping, then the jump animation is going to play. Then what we're going to do is, just so it's a bit like smoother, once we land, it has to go back to the run or the idle animation. But we don't want to go back to the run animation if the player's not moving. So what we're going to do is we're going to have no exit time, we just make it feel as snappy as possible, plus here, and if the moving is true and we're no longer jumping, and it's going to go to running, and then over here we'll turn off exit time again to make it responsive as possible. Is moving is false, so go back to the idle state, and is jumping is true, or no, is jumping is false as well, so both of these values are false. Then we will go back to the idle state. So really here you just want to sort of make sure that the animations all flow very nicely with one another. So now we've got to actually make this sort of, work and actually do its thing that we want it to do. So we're going to navigate over to Visual Studio. So now what we want to do is we want to grab a reference to the animator so we can change the values. So private animator anim. Anim is quite a standard name that people use for naming the animations, or the animator, sorry. And we're just going to get the animator component, anim.setBool, and what this does is it just sets the parameters. Over here, we have the parameters, these are all booleans, so we're basically going to change the is jumping value, and it's case sensitive, and we want to basically put the name of the parameter we want to change. And it obviously has to be the correct type, these are both booleans, which is perfect. We're going to make a comma, so we go to the next parameter, and now it wants a value, as you can see in this little box here. So we're going to give it the is grounded value, because that's a boolean, and then that'll basically just mean, if it jumps, or no, what we actually want to do is want to invert it, because if you're grounded, then you're not jumping. And then the next thing we want to do is we want to say if h-axis is not equal to 0, the input.getAxis raw actually is a -1 to 1. That's how the float works. So what we're going to do here is we are going to, again, set a boolean, and this time is moving. Remember, it has to be exactly the same there. It's the same. And then we'll put a comma, go to the next parameter. So what we're going to say here is we're going to say true, because it's just saying, you know, if we are moving, if it's -1 or 1, then is moving is true. However, if it's not, if it is equal to 0, then we're going to set the boolean to false. And now we should be able to play it, and it should be pretty responsive. As you can see, it continues running if you're running. However, if you stand, then it will just go to the idle state as we set. So thanks so much for watching this animated tutorial. If you want more tutorials like this, then please do let me know. Please do let me know what you want to see, because I can do anything from advanced topics to beginner topics if you so wish. So if you want to see more tutorials from me, please do hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and wishlist my game on Steam. That'd be greatly appreciated, and have a nice day everyone. Thanks, bye.